Okay, so this lesson we're going to do our green belt syllabus. That's our junior 6th Kyu. For the intermediate belt, you will go to from yellow belt to green stripe, and for the full belt, you'll go to the full green belt. And what we're going to do is I'm going to do 3 techniques forwards, 3 techniques backwards. Depending on what you're asked on the day, for grading, you may be asked to turn, you may be asked to go straight backwards, but we are going to go forwards and backwards. If you have limited space, do make sure that you're just doing the 1 technique forward and 1 technique backwards. It doesn't take up much space, it's 1 step forward and then 1 step back. But otherwise, do make sure they are full techniques. If you can, please make sure you're getting that full Zenkutsudachi. So in order to get a full Zenkutsudachi, you want to stand with your feet hip width apart and then just kind of lean forward. So you're trusting your toes to keep you balanced. When you feel yourself falling, that's when you stop. Don't lean forwards like I am now, because that is a tendency. If you do that fall, you do feel like you're leaning forwards. You want to make sure you're keeping that back nice and straight. So leaning forwards and then landing. So I've got a good solid front stance. Back is nice and straight. Your bottom is tucked under and you've got that knee over the big toe. Okay, so that's a really good way of practicing. So you're leaning forwards, trusting those toes and then landing. So it's a nice long front stance, because although you may be able to do a good front stance and end up very long and low, if you can't move from that, it's no good. So there's 2 ways to do it, as I say. One is the leaning forwards and stop, and the other one is to say, well, what's my stride? So there's my stride, and it's a step further than that. So there's my stride, and then go 1 foot further, and that will give you a good step to be able to then move. Okay, so moving on to Sanbonzuki. So feet hip width apart, we're going to step down into Gidambrai. And Sanbonzuki is 3 punches to 1 step. So we're going to do Jodan punch for our first one, and then 2 Chudan punches. And the timing is 1, 2, 3. So we'll go nice and slowly. 1, Jodan, Chudan, Chudan. 2. And then going backwards. 1 and 2. Okay, so changing back to Gidambrai. Okay, so we're going to do Sanbonzuki again. We're going to do it a little bit quicker. So 1, 2, and backwards. 1, 2, and yame. So between each of our techniques, we're going to come back to yoi. We're going to do a nice big deep breath, filling your lungs right down. So make sure that diaphragm is working properly. Okay, so our next technique is some blocks. And a nice way to think of these is that we're actually going to work down in level. So we're going to start with Agioki, so that's our upper rising block. And for these next few combinations, they've all got the same follow on. So it's Agioki, Yakazaki, Gidambrai. So each of them will be followed by a Yakazaki, Gidambrai, and it's an ideal time to practice and make sure those hips are moving. So stepping down with our left leg forward into Gidambrai. We're going to do Agioki, Yakazaki, Gidambrai. So nice and slowly to get those moves in. 1, 2, and backwards. 1 and 2. And then we're going to go a little bit quicker. So we're going to do each of these slow speed to get the movements, and then medium speed to get some power in there. So 1, 2, and backwards. 1, 2. Okay, and yame. So the more you can get in, the better, obviously. And it's always worth practicing it slow speed, medium speed, and then high speed as well. So we'll go to Agioki again and do it high speed. And that's where you're really putting all that kime and that focus in. So we're looking for more snappy techniques on this. So we'll do our Agioki, Yakazaki, Gidambrai again. And this is high speed, and the high speed is your high speed. Okay, so no matter who's next to you, what speed they're going, you don't want to be the last to finish, but you want to make sure they're proper techniques. Okay, so left leg forward, downward block. So, Agiyuki, Yakazaki, Gidambrai, full speed. Twice forward, twice back. So 1, 2, and back, and 2, and yame. So with these ones, and particularly when you're doing it high speed, and there's more risk the faster you go, is that front knee collapses in. So when you do that block, you're turning your shoulders, you're turning your hips, and your knee follows. Really important to work on keeping that knee stable. So your hips and body are what turns and not the knee folding in. Because yes, you can turn a lot further, but it's not good for the knee. You need to make sure that stays nice and stable. When you turn your shoulders and your hips, that stays still as you can. Okay? So our next technique is Sotawki, Yakazaki, Gidambrai. So that's where it comes right up to our temple. We don't have it behind. We make sure the back of our fist is to our temple, swinging across. We're blocking with the soft part of the arm, and then twist at the end. Okay, so we do that twist, and it goes just past the body line. So you don't want to be right here, because then it's a long time to be able to get the Yakazaki in. You want to make sure it's just past the body line, so your Yakazaki can come in again, making sure that that front knee stays stable. So nice and slow, we're going to do it slow, medium, and then high speed. So left leg forward, Sotawki, Yakazaki, Gidambrai. So 1, 2, and backwards. 1, 2. Now we're going to do it medium speed, so just a little bit quicker, not going full speed just yet. So 1, 2, and backwards. 1, 2, and then high speed, which as I said before is your high speed. You don't need to rush it through. Make sure you get the full techniques coming in, that front knee is staying stable. So 2 forwards, 2 back. 1, 2, and backwards. 1, 2, and yame. Okay, so now we're moving down slightly, although it's still a Chudan block, it does feel slightly lower because your arm doesn't come up, it's coming under. So we're doing Uchiuki, Yakazaki, Gidambrai. So we're going to do it slow, medium, and high speed. So you're working on the technique. This time, instead of going across the body, we're coming outside the body. Now this time, you want it just outside the body line. So once this block comes in, you want to be able to just, if you move your arm back, it just brushes your body. So it is just outside the body, okay? So we're going to step down, left leg forward, step into Gidambrai. And we're going to do Uchiuki, Yakazaki, Gidambrai. So nice and slowly. 1, 2, and backwards. 1, 2. Now moving up to medium speed, so a little bit more focus and kime in there. 1, 2, and backwards. 1, 2, and now full speed. Again, it's your full speed. Make sure those techniques coming in as full techniques. So high speed. 1, 2, and backwards. 1, and 2, and yame. And big deep breath in. Okay. So that's a lot of our blocks done. We have one more to do and then we're moving on to our kicks. Now if any of these are confusing, go back and repeat it. Okay, if you need to, go back to our previous videos and watch how to do those basic techniques. All of the individual techniques are done as separate videos as well, so go and use those if you need to. Okay, so the next technique we're going to do is open hand. So normally we say keep it nice and fisted for your blocks. This time it's shuto, so we're blocking with the outside of the hand. Okay, so not the thumb side, that's a different block, that's heito. We're going to do the outside, so a little finger side down the side there, and that's Sotawki. And then we're going to follow that on with a nukite, shihon nukite. So instead of our hand being sort of at an angle, it's actually going to be on its side. So the little finger side is straight to the floor. Okay, tuck that thumb in. If you can get it further across, all the better. And shihon is 4, so ich, ni, san, shi, 4 finger. And what you want to try and do is make a triangle with those first 3 fingers. Okay, so the 3 tips are in line. You're squeezing the index finger and the ring finger together, and that creates a little triangle. And that just makes it a little bit more stable, it's stronger. If you do it with 4 fingers like that, which is absolutely fine for practicing, then if you actually hit something, all the power is going through 1 finger. Okay, if you line them up, you've got 3 fingers that are going to take the force. So that's obviously going to be less painful and a much stronger attack. And you're aiming for the solar plexus with this. Okay, so it's coming in chudan, and you've got to, just like we'll do with our Yakazaki, it's coming into the centre. All right, so we're going to move from back stance from our shuto. We're going to move our front foot 1 step out, so it goes out. As we then twist our hips into front stance, we come in with our shihon nukite. Okay, so we're going to go through it nice and slowly. So left leg forward to shuto in Kokotsadachi back stance. So making sure that this hand here is sat just above your belt, your front hand, your left hand is shoulder height. So coming forwards twice nice and slowly. So shuto into back stance. We now move our left foot out. Nukite. And you don't want to lock this out, you just want a nice soft bend on that. So stepping forwards into Kokotsadachi again, shuto. Moving that front foot across for the nukite. And now going backwards, shuto. Keeping that, make sure that front foot is going forwards and not turning in. And then stepping out, nukite. And again, shuto. Stepping that front foot out, nukite. Okay, so going back to shuto. We're going to do it nice and slowly again. Check you're in good back stance. Don't lock that front knee out. Okay, you want to keep it nice and soft. So not a big bend on it, just a little bend there. So shuto nukite. 1, 2, and then going backwards. 1 and 2. Okay, into yame. So we're doing it nice and slowly twice. We're going to go medium speed and then full speed. So remember for the shuto, it's coming chudan. The hand is shoulder height and your elbow is bent to 90-degree angle. Okay, that's then going to keep your elbow tucked in far enough to protect your ribs. Okay, so left leg forward, Kokotsadachi Sotawki. It's going to move forward, medium speed, shuto nukite. So 1, 2, and backwards. 1 and 2. Okay, back to Sotawki. And we're going to do it, we're doing slow speed and medium speed. We're now going to go on to our full speed. So 1, 2, and backwards. 1 and 2. And yame. Big deep breath again. Okay, so that's all of our strikes, blocks and combinations. We're now going to move on to our kicks. Okay, so we've worked through our maigeris a lot, so we're going to do slow to get the technique right, medium and then high speed. Now with the maigeris, you will do Maigeri Chudan, going one way. You will then turn and do Maigeri Jodan, coming back. For this lesson, we're going to do Maigeri Chudan, there, and turn and do back. Then we're going to do Maigeri Jodan, coming forwards, turn and going back. Okay? If you cannot get a higher kick, then make sure that your Chudan is slightly lower. Okay, ideally, Chudan you want to be aiming for your belt height, and then Jodan you try to aim as far as you can for your chin height. But we want to make sure there's a definite difference in the two. Okay, so left leg forward, Zenku Tsudachi. So front stance, both hands out to the side this time. So Maigeri Chudan, 1, 2. Make sure you get those toes pulled back when you go. And then Mawate, turn, and Chudan, 1, and 2. And Mawate, turn. Okay. Now when you undo even numbers, you tend to shuffle across, so just center yourself again. So let's do that medium speed. So Maigeri Chudan, 1, 2. And Mawate, turn. And center yourself if you need to. So 1 and 2. Mawate and Yame. Okay. So now we're going to go on to Jodan. Okay. You can do that again with Maigeri as high speed if you like to. We're just going to go straight on to Maigeri Jodan to get in that different height. So if this is my Chudan, to get a Jodan, you need to get your hips further, but you need to bring the knee up further as well. Okay, so Chudan and Jodan. Okay, so stepping our left leg forward into Zenku Tsudachi, Maigeri Jodan, nice and slow. Get those toes pulled back. So 1 and 2, and turn. And 1 and 2, and turn. Okay, center yourself again if you need to. If you're wobbling across, that's fine. So coming forward again. This time medium speed Maigeri Jodan. So 1 and 2. Mawate, turn. And 1 and 2. And turn. And Yame. Okay. So by all means practice it Maigeri Chudan there, and then Maigeri Jodan going back as well. So moving on to our side kicks, we've got Yokaga Kokomi, which is just a side snap kick, and Yokaga Kokomi. That's the thrust. And again, it's always worth practicing these. There is a video doing kicks. It's worth practicing because there's equipment in there using chairs and belts for height and targeting. So please use it. So Yokaga Kokomi, Yoko side, Geri kick, Kokomi snap. Okay, so side snap kick. Making sure that our knee points the direction we're going. We always look the direction we're going, because if you don't, you're going to aim off target. Okay, so we're going to have our left leg forward in Kibidachi. So from Yoi, we move our left leg round, both hands up into Kibidachi. Make sure that's you're tucked under, your shoulders are nice and straight, don't lean. Okay, the lower you can get, the better. Okay, so we're going to step across, looking where we're going and making sure our toes are in line for stepping across, otherwise you end up crabbing across the room. So, stepping across, Yokaga Kokomi, nice and slowly. 1 and 2. And turn, which is just a turn of the head. 1 and 2. And turn, and now medium speed. 1, 2. And back. 1 and 2. And turn. Okay, so this time I'm going to do it high speed. It is a snap, so at the moment it's more of a a controlled movement. You're wanting to kick with the outside of your foot. You want to make sure that it's a snap. Okay, so we do it in Heian Nidan, which is the kata that we do for this grading, and it's got to be a snap. Okay, there's no point keeping it hanging out there because that's neither a Kyagi nor a Kokomi. So make sure it snaps. Okay, so you're not necessarily aiming high. You're aiming for this, for Chudan, for the basics, for the Kihon, and you're going to snap. So we're going to go high speed. So left leg forward in Kibadachi, and we're going to do Yokaga Kyagi in nice, controlled, but high speed. 1 and 2, and turn. 1 and 2, and Mawate, turn, and Yame, and breathe. Okay, so the next one is Yokaga Kokomi. The biggest difference for this is a thrust. So if we do it as a maigari, so if you do it as a front kick, then that would be a snap. Okay, the difference for a Kokomi is you're pushing out. So it's more a, that's a feint, and you're going to follow it up with something else. And the Kokomi is pushing somebody away. Okay, so make sure we get that definition between the two. So we're going to do our Yokaga Kokomi. We'll have our left leg forward in Kibadachi. Doing it nice and slowly, we'll go through the motions. So, left leg forward, Kibadachi. Check your technique, check that your back's nice and straight, and you've got a good strong Kibadachi. So we've got to make sure we turn on that supporting leg as well. So coming across, 1, knee to the front, out, back and down. 2, knee up, out, back and down. Then turn, same again. 1, knee up, out, back and down, and 2, knee up, pushing it right the way out, back and down, and turn. Okay, so this time we're going to go Yokaga Kokomi, and we're going to go medium speed. So make sure we turn on that supporting leg. So 1, and back down. 2, and back down, and then turn, and 1, and 2, and turn. Okay, we're going to do it again. We're going to do it high speed. So this time we're really getting that push feeling. Okay. So 1, 2, and turn, and 1, and 2, and Mawate, turn, and Yame, and breathe. So that's all of our kicks. Okay, really practice those, go slowly with them. If you need support when you're doing it, hold on to something, get those motions right, and then speed it up. Okay, so we're going to go on to our set 1 then, and as I say, it's going to be the nice slow attack to start with, nice slow defence coming back. We are going to work both sides because when you go for your full belt, you need to work both left and right defences. So because we always start on our left, we tend to find that that's the strongest side for memory, but always practice the right side as well. Okay, so even if you're only going for your stripe, for your green intermediate stripe, practice both sides because it will soon be needed. All right, so starting in Yoi, we're going to step back with our right leg to Gidambrai. We're going to say Jodan, and at this point we'll be looking directly in our partner's eyes. So you say Jodan, so they know where the attack's coming from. We step forward, hey, we then Yame forwards. And we're now going to pretend somebody coming in, so we imagine somebody's coming in to attack us. They've punched with their right hand, so we're going to defend with our left block. So we're going to step back with our right leg, and it's a full Agiyoki to block the punch, and then hey, Yakazaki on the spot. Okay, so then Yame. We're now going to step back with our right leg, and we're going to say Chudan. And we step forward, a nice square Chudan punch. Hey, then Yame forwards, and imagining that that attack is coming in Chudan, but this time going to do an outside forearm block. So the Chudan's coming in, block, hey, punch, We're going to step back with our right leg into Zenkutsudachi. So we're going to do a kick this time. So we shout Maigeri. And this time we're aiming for their belt. Okay, so they're not on the belt, so good target for your Maigeris. So Maigeri, hey, and land forwards. Okay, Yame. And then this time we're going to step back for a Gidambrai block and Yakazaki on the spot. So Maigeri is coming in, hey, and then Yame, okay? So normally, because you've Yame'd, you've stepped back for the block, you'll Yame forwards, all right? So if you're attacking, you will step back, you will attack, and then step forward. We'll then Yame forwards, because that's the way we've been moving. We're then going to do our defence back, and then we'll Yame backwards, okay? When you've got a partner, it'll make more sense. So, we're going to start in our yoi, we're going to step back with our right leg, we're going to go Jodan, Chudan, Maigeri, then we're going to work the other side and we'll do that twice. So this time we're going to do it medium speed. So stepping back with your right leg, Jodan, he, Yame forwards, and now Agyoki block, Jodan, he, and Yame back. Gidambrai backwards, Chudan, he, Yame forwards, and then Sotawki backwards, Chudan, he, and Yame backwards. Stepping back with your right leg into Zenkutsudachi, Maigeri, he, Yame forwards, and now stepping back, Gidambrai, Maigeri, he, and Yame. Okay, so now move on to our right side defences. So this time we're going to step back with our left leg and step forward with a left punch. Okay, so stepping back with that left leg, same again, nice and slowly. Jodan, he, Yame forwards. So this time we're stepping back with our left leg, right Agyoki. Jodan, he, okay, and Yame backwards. This time step back, left leg, Chudan, he, Yame forwards, Sotawaki with the right arm this time. Chudan, he, Yame backwards, stepping back with that left leg, Maigeri, he, Yame forwards, and this time stepping back with our left leg, right Gidambrai. Maigeri, he, and Yame. Okay, so we're going to move on to our medium speed. Practice as much as you can with a partner if you can. If you've got somebody in the house or a friend, try and practice with them, but you can obviously practice on your own. So we're going to step back with our left leg, right Gidambrai, I'm going to do our right side defences. So left Gidambrai. So coming forward, Jodan, medium speed. Jodan, he, Yame forwards. Jodan, he, Yame backwards. Gidambrai, Chudan, he, Yame forwards. Chudan, he, Yame backwards. And now Maigeri. Okay, so stepping back with your left leg. Maigeri, he, Yame forwards, and then Maigeri, he, Yame backwards. Okay, so we're going to do it high speed this time. We're going to do left side, then right side. All right, so we're going to start with our left leg forward. We'll do a right attack. We'll then do our left defences, and then switch over. And it's going to be high speed all the way through. So on each one, I'll shout whether we're attacking or defending. I'll shout out the technique, and then you'll do the move. Okay. So first off, left leg forward, Gidambrai. So high speed. Jodan. Hey. Jodan. Hey. Chudan. Hey. Chudan. Hey. Maigeri. Hey. Maigeri. Hey. And now we're going to work the other side. So this time, stepping back with our left leg. Jodan. Hey. Jodan. Hey. Jodan. Hey. Jodan. Hey. Magari. Hey. Magari. Hey. Feet together and right. Os. Okay, so we've done our Kihon, our basics, we've done our Kumite, our set, and we're going to move on to our Kata, which is Heian Nidan. So Heian, peaceful mind, Nidan, second level. You may be asked to do your previous Kata as well, which is Heian Shodan, and the one before that, Takiyoka Shodan. So each time we move up the grades, you'll be asked to do your grading Kata, plus any of the previous Katas you've learned. So always make sure you're practicing those previous Katas. Okay, so we're going to do this Heian Nidan. We're going to go through slow to count, and then you'll need to make sure you practice it at full speed, which is time and count. Again, all those videos are available. There is a teaching lesson video on how to do Heian Nidan as if you are learning it. Okay, so if you don't know Heian Nidan already, please pause this and go back and look at that other video. But in the meantime, we'll go through this slow speed and then we'll go time and count. Okay, so as before, please make sure you're trying to get as proper stances in as you can. Space limiting. My stance may be a little bit short on this occasion, but do make sure you're getting those proper stances in. Okay, so starting off from Yoi. Make sure you've got plenty of space to start yourself off, and obviously space behind because we've got the kick coming in as well. So feet together, Heian Nidan, Yoi. Okay, so start by blocking to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pulling up, 7, landing shuto, 8, 9, 10. Hey, turning around for the shutos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, hey, and Yame. And where possible, you should be ending up pretty much where you started at the end of your kata. Okay, so go through that again, time and count. So it doesn't have to be rushed, but make sure you're getting proper techniques in. Make sure you shutos, you're pointing out and getting those big moves throughout the whole kata. Okay, got little sections now in this, so you can get some good dynamics going with speed, quick speed and slow speeds. Okay, so from Yoi, feet together, Heian Nidan. So all the way through medium speed. Hey. Hey. And Yame. Feet together and right. Us and Yoi. Okay, so that's the whole syllabus. So make sure you practice it. If there's if there's anything you're not sure of, go back and practice it and then move on with the rest of it. But the idea of this is to give you the full lesson so you can just work through your whole syllabus in one go. Okay, so make sure you practice. We'll see you soon. Us.